Well, I think that this endeavor's strength is that it provides a platform for a variety of points of view. That there are people who genuinely don't approach the issue of eliminating terrorism from the same level, the same perspective, and the same interests. And it is that variety that truly enriches the conversation. So I've been very impressed by the fact that you've had leading thought leaders of both India and policy makers of both India and Pakistan in conversation. Nothing could be more important than building bridges of understanding, and there is no possibility unless we listen to one another. That's the first thing that I think is most interesting. The second is that all of the people that I've seen on the various platforms I've participated in are sincere in addressing the issue. None have been self-serving their own political careers or agenda. They've really been listening to each other and responding to the discussion. So that sort of serious discussion about a serious issue is truly worthwhile. Now, I bring a perspective basically as a lawyer and not a intelligence or military a military expert. For me, I believe that that the rule of law and the principles of equality of all peoples and all nations is really important. And terrorism, fighting terrorism, is really fighting a tactic. Terrorism, it's like if we had World War II and we were fighting the Blitzkrieg. You know, it wasn't the Blitzkrieg was the enemy. It was the fascist ideology and the policies were the enemy, and the enemy of freedom and democracy and accountable governments and peace. That's what we were fighting for, and the people who were used a tactic. So we have to be clear. Terrorism is a set of criminal acts designed to affect the civilian population to advance a particular political agenda. But it's enough to prosecute the wrongdoers based on the criminal acts. It doesn't matter what was in their minds when they committed murder or a conspiracy to commit murder. So I think we should segregate the two analysis. The criminal acts should be prosecuted multilaterally as criminal acts that are mostly cross-border, but they're domestic, but they're criminal acts. In and of themselves, they're illegal. The fact that there's a political overtone to it, we need to address what are the causes of that political overtone. What are the causes, and listen to the political critics and give them avenues of political expression that divest the criminal aspect, because the commercing, well, not just basically the commercing, the debate of ideas. The debate of ideas is very important, and we need to divest any legitimacy, any overtone of reason to these horrible criminal acts that we call terrorism. So that's my point of view. My point of view emphasizes the legal aspect. It emphasizes isolating these characters, but there are other people in the discussions who approach it very differently than I do. And I think it's very enriching to have a variety of points of view put forward in the table, so that dissent and disagreement actually, I think, enriches insight. And it's insight that we need now. And it's insight to deal with the underlying conditions, the conditions that give rise to the irrationality and horrors of terrorism. I would also say that that nuclear weapons, for example, deterrence theory is based on terror, deterrence with terror. And that nuclear weapons, although they're mainly brandished by states, terrorize civilian populations. And for that reason, I feel very strongly we need to work to fulfill the admonition of the International Court of Justice to commence negotiations leading to the universal, legally verifiable elimination of nuclear weapons. That would do wonders for my country, which spends, literally, we've spent trillions of dollars on the venture, and certainly in the region of South Asia, where there's such a need to address crushing poverty and the well-being of the people, to address the underlying causes that generate these arsenals. So thank you for giving me a place where I can share these ideas that I have with and listen to people who have a different perspective.